Calling the zoning hearing board meeting for Lower Makefield Township for October 18th, 2022 to order. First up, we have a couple of housekeeping items related to requests for continuance. You want me to make motions, or you want me to go through them? Go through them, sure.
All right, so we have Appeal 22-1975. That's the Zubeda Foundation at 855 Big Oak Road. Got a continuance request by the applicant's attorney, Mike McGinnis from Begley Carlin yesterday, requesting a continuance to the 11/1 meeting. They've met with most of the neighbors and resolved their issues, and they just want to continue that and work with the remaining neighbors that they have not come to an understanding with. So they're hoping those 2 extra weeks will give them that opportunity. And I believe the township has no opposition.
And I think Mr. Ottinger, who represents a couple of the residents, he has no objection either. He sent an email reply saying no objection to the continuance.
Okay. Any comment? No comment? All right, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to continue appeal number 22-1975 to November 1st, 2022.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, all those in favor of continuance of appeal 22-1975 to November 1st?
Aye.
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 Okay, approved, it's continued. All right, on to the next request.
All right, we have a request for appeal 22-1978, Dylan and Rebecca Tung at 243 Valley Drive. Also requesting a continuance to the 11/1 meeting.
Any comment from the township?
No objection. We're going to participate, not opposing, just participating, but no problem with the continuance.
Okay, any discussion, any comments? All right, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to continue appeal number 22-1978 to November 1st, 2022.
Okay, any discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Appeal 22-1978 continued to November 1st, 22.
And then the last housekeeping matter is 22-1977 would like to go, I think, out of order because Murphy is still on his way.
So appeal 22-1979 is up. So if you can be sworn in, and then we'll do the exhibits.
Yes.
Okay, Adam will do the exhibits now.
All right, we have the application as A1, the site plans as A2. The renderings of the addition, which the applicants had marked A1 through 14, are going to be A3. B1 is the proof of publication, B2 is the proof of posting, and B3 is the notice to neighbors.
Okay, go ahead and explain to us what you're looking to do here.
Sorry if I stand.
Yes, so stand next to a microphone.
Yeah.
So, or.
Oh, okay. What we're looking to do is to put an addition on our house, which includes essentially a bedroom and a bathroom for my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law has been with us since past 18 months. You know, she's 88 years old, still mobile, but it's best that she lives with us now instead of going to assisted living or some other type of care. So we've made a decision to build her out of room. You know, for her needs large in case when in case she does become wheelchair bound or whatever. Doors wide enough, bathroom is wide enough for her to use, that sort of thing. Not truly handicap accessible, but close enough. And what it does, it puts us over. Yeah, so what it does on the, right there, the blue portion of the house is the addition. Part of that, the top corner, center corner there is actually a porch, covered porch that's open. This addition is going to be roughly 521 square feet. This puts us over, we're actually over the impervious surface as it is now. The house was built in 1963. So back then there was different rules and regulations. But going from the 523, this takes us from 20.31% impervious to 20.99%. And that's mainly because we're taking up a lot of concrete deck. And also the new additions going on top of what was previously concrete deck. So it's only roughly about 100 square feet of new building. So what we did was we contracted with a civil engineer, Dumac Engineering. They bring us back down to the 18%. And that would be to install a dry well, as you can see in the northwest corner of the property. That would cover the extra impervious surface and for the calculations they did in the drawings. That's it in a nutshell. I guess I don't know what else do you need to know.
That's fine. You did good. All right. Any questions on the board? Your audio isn't picking up, Matt.
No.
Now it is.
Okay. Did you check the calcs?
Yes, we checked the calculations and they are accurate.
Okay. I don't have any further questions.
All right. Is there any public comment online? Okay. Okay. I don't have any comment either, and I don't think the board does, so I'll entertain a motion.
Move that we approve Appeal 22-1970 as presented to this board and with the approval of our calculations are correct, as you said.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
A second.
Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. The appeal motion carries. Appeal 22-1979 is approved. You can go home now.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, and now you can go ahead and get your contractor to submit the full permit.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Okay. Is there anybody online for the next appeal? Hello? No one's on for the next appeal yet? All right. I make a motion that we recess for 10 minutes. Well, it was not expected to. The schedule got adjusted. So is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye. There's a 10-minute recess. Hey, our 10-minute recess is over. You can be sworn in and then we'll do the exit, and then Adam will do the exhibits.
Yes.
All right, just going to mark the exhibits quickly. We have the application as A1, the site plans as A2. We have the outline of requested relief prepared by Mr. Murphy as A3. B1, proof of publication, B2, proof of posting, and B3, notice to the neighbors.
Go ahead.
Thanks. I'm Ed Murphy. I'm here tonight on behalf of Mark Dickerson and Danielle Garcia, the owners of a property at 15 Glen Olden Road. It is in the RRP, Residential Resource Protection District. It is about 0.35 acres, and it has a single-family home on it and a detached three-car garage. Some members of the zoning hearing board may be familiar with Danielle, her husband, in a prior application with which they were involved 2 years ago. It was an application that was dated decision was dated December 1, 2020. And at that time, relief was granted to Danielle and her husband to permit an increase in impervious surface from 23.7 to 29.9. At the same time, Danielle and her husband were cognizant of the fact that that increase would need to be offset by a certain amount of reduction of impervious, which they had agreed to do, and which effectively brought the net on-lot impervious down to 23.7. So fast forward to what is happening now, and I guess I could summarize, but I'll let Danielle talk about the family circumstance that has now given rise to the nature of the request this evening, because since in the intervening year and a half, there are things that have occurred within the family that have triggered a recalibration of what they would like to do with the garage. So Danielle, you've been sworn.
Yes.
You've heard me summarize the background of the matter from when you first applied to the zoning hearing board in the fall of 2020, the hearing or the decision in December, how you started to implement it, and would you describe for the board what family circumstances have caused you to rethink the scope of the improvement to the garage?
Sure. So my husband, my daughter, and I currently live at 15 Glen Olden. That's our home. And my father is widowed, and he previously lived in Falls Township on Leisha Drive. He has since sold his house for other reasons and developed some health issues. He's had 2 heart attacks, multiple hospitalizations, and currently does not have a residence in this state. And so we have wanted, therefore, to create some living space for him in the garage so that he has a place that he can stay as he continues to age, but hopefully in a more healthy manner.
And you are a healthcare professional.
I am, yes. I'm a physician. I'm a geriatrician, actually. And so I have some insight into how the stepwise progression of illness and chronic illness can occur. And before things get to a point where he's not able to help care for himself, we'd like to give him some resources here.
So what do you propose to do with the garage for which you previously got approval to improve?
So we'd like to turn 2 of the bays, so about 2/3 of it, into living space for him and remain 1 of the bays for garage, parking, etc. We have gotten approval and permits for this kind of thing from the township, and I wholeheartedly was unaware that I needed zoning relief as well, which is why we are here today. So we have applied and received permits for sewer, electric, and all of the other things. I think they're in the application, and certainly we can provide them to you as well. We've gotten approval and permits for everything. And then we found out that I needed to come to the zoning board, and I sincerely apologize. I did not know that.
So the conversion of the 2 of the 3 bays
Mhm.
is, as outlined in paragraph 8 of our application, it is 617 square feet, right?
Correct.
Okay, and within that 617 square feet, there would be what? What would be included in that space?
A bathroom, a small kitchenette, and a bedroom.
Single bed.
Correct, 1 bedroom.
Okay. You indicated again that the 2-bay apartment would be approximately 617 square feet.
Yes.
Would contain a single bedroom,
Mhm.
kitchenette, and bath.
Yes, and would be for the sole use of, I mean, at this foreseeable future, my father. There's some details about what we're willing and more than happy to agree upon in the future.
Now, we have talked, as I know you've talked with Mr. Majewski and township staff about minimum requirements if permission would be authorized to allow the 2 bays of the garage to be used as an in-law suite, right?
Mhm. Correct.
And you're aware that, and we've discussed, and you are willing to accept as a condition of any approval that this board might grant a condition that would limit the use of that 1-bedroom apartment to only blood or family relatives, right?
Yes.
Now, at our suggestion, I believe you have almost literally canvassed the neighborhood
Correct.
around which you are
Mhm.
surrounded, right? And I think you've approached and spoken to at least 6 neighbors.
Yes, so the 2 neighbors directly next to me, at 13 and 17 Glen Olden, that would be the Watsons and the Gelades. I've spoken with both of them. Our neighbors directly across the street, 18 Glen Olden, Alyssa and Andrew White, 11 Glen Olden, and then 2 of our neighbors that are included in the 300 meters or feet from our home are 2 homes on Glen, which are the Grupps and the Ritters. And I've spoken and have details from all of them that they have no objection.
And they were made abundantly clear by you of the nature of the plans and that the size of the plans, the fact that the garage would not be able to be expanded any further to include any more than 1 bedroom, and that any occupant of that space would have to be a blood or family relative.
That's correct. Yes, we did tell them all that.
And you've also been advised by us that as a condition of any approval, the township solicitor would want to ensure that we execute a declaration of covenants and restrictions that would be recorded that would say just that that space would be limited in use to those conditions we just described, right?
Yes, agree.
And that would be acceptable.
Absolutely.
And you explained all that to the neighbors when you talked to them.
I did.
Okay. I don't have any other questions for Danielle. And I hope I've anticipated Ms. Kirk's questions.
You did. I had spoken with Mr. Murphy ahead of time, indicated the agreement for that condition, that the use of that, for lack of a better term, in-law suite be limited to either relatives by blood or marriage to the occupants of the principal residence.
And that the apartment be always accessory to the use of the property as a principal residence. This would be accessory only, which would be controllable by no further expansion of it as well. So, correct.
Mhm. The only questions I have is, Ms. Garcia, well, is it Ms. or Doctor?
I mean, here you can call me Ms. That's fine.
Okay, so I heard correctly, you are.
I am a physician. Yes.
When you said kitchenette, exactly what are you intending to install? I mean, are
Mhm.
we talking about a regular stove or is it a microwave? I'm just curious as to what you would be putting in.
Sure. So, I mean, at this point, my dad's only 67. And so I hope that he has, more capabilities than just microwaving food. We would like to be able to put a functioning stove in for him if that were to be granted.
All right, so you're looking at a stove, sink,
Correct.
and would it be gas or electric? I'm not familiar.
We have both in our home. So we honestly, as soon as the township inspector made us aware of the fact that we needed to come to the zoning board, we just like halted everything. So we did not get that far.
So what are you gonna do with vehicles that would otherwise been stored in the garage that are now you're gonna lose 2 parking spaces?
Sure. So it's just my husband and I currently, and we've been without a garage at all for about 1.5 years. And then finally, when we were able to use the one bay, we've been using that one. In agreement with the previous zoning variance, we did remove 300 square feet of driveway. We have an exceptionally large driveway in the back, and there's plenty of room for parking.
Okay. I have no other questions.
Okay. Does the board have questions?
Jim, you can probably answer this. I see that the proposed garage, when it was submitted for the last variance, has a 10-foot rear setback. Is that setback allowable now that this garage is being converted into an in-law suite? Does it make a difference?
Well, I think it's still being classified as an accessory structure. It's still being classified as an accessory structure. So this setback would still be acceptable.
Thank you.
I have a question and I can have the members of the board. Since you're converting what was originally intended to not be inhabited space into inhabited space, is it being brought into full code compliance with things such as insulation, framing, et cetera?
Absolutely. And again, I believe that it should currently be up to date with the permits and the inspections we had. Certainly happy to confirm with the township what might else be needed. But I believe so.
Because I don't think it was originally built to be insulated inhabited space. So there would be things that should have been applied with the code if it was originally constructed that way in 2021, which is only a year ago. The code hasn't changed, I don't
I
believe.
think Danielle and her husband are acutely aware of that. And I think the inspectors and maybe even Jim made them aware of that as well when the work that had been ongoing was stopped because of this. So
Yeah, and this is something
you're
that the permits would need to be amended.
refreshed and whatever.
Yeah, you'll need fire separation from the garage. You'll need the insulation, as Mr. Solar pointed out. You'll also need all the life safety issues addressed, like smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors, and
Means of
You need
egress.
2 means of ingress and
Egress.
yes. So all of those
And-
issues need to be addressed.
Okay.
I think we're getting into building code and outside of zoning.
Right.
Well, the only thing would be that if they're not complying, then they would have to go back and deal with it anyways, or it might change the consideration that they're looking at. That's why I brought it up. Does anybody else have any other questions here?
No,
Okay, you mentioned the request for a stove. I believe that that's not a permitted use in an in-law suite. So
Yeah, that is correct. Our ordinance doesn't allow for separate cooking facilities, which the townships traditionally considered as a stove. A microwave is fine. An air fryer type of thing is fine, but an actual full stove, since it is an in-law suite accessory to your use, and as a family, the thought is always that they would be having main meals with the family.
Okay.
And I love my air fryer, so I didn't think I would, but I converted.
I was gonna say, my father-in-law from 73 till 91 was a whiz at using the microwave.
Well, he didn't like you. He didn't want to come to dinner at your place.
He lived in my house.
Yeah, I know. He told me. He still didn't like it.
Any other questions from the board? Is there anybody online? Okay. Hearing no further questions, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve appeal number 22-1977 as presented here, with the township requiring a recorded declaration and covenant that the occupants of the in-law suite need to be related through blood or marriage to the occupants of the principal residence.
I'll second.
I'd like to amend that to include Barbara's comment regarding that this is an accessory use. That this building is accessory to the main property. So you don't have a situation where somebody lives in the garage and rents out the main house. Discussion?
Or second?
There was a second.
Yeah,
second it.
seconded.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Good.
The motion carries. Appeal 22 1977 is approved with the additional statement that it's for accessory, it's accessory to the main building.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Apologize for making you wait. You too.
Thank you all very much.
Do we need to discuss the next meeting at all? Okay, we're not overbooked, right? All right, entertain them. Adjourn.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're done.